Ask almost anybody, and you'll find very little optimism regarding the direction of this country. We can all kind of feel it, right? We're heading down a pretty dark path. Stories like the baby formula shortage are perhaps just the beginning of this. There are famine warnings growing louder by the day. From The Economist, wheat prices up 53% since the start of the year, jumped a further 6% on May 16th after India said it would suspend exports because of an alarming heat wave. The high cost of staple foods has already raised the number of people who cannot be sure of getting enough to eat in the world by 440 million, up to 1.6 billion people. Nearly 250 million people on this planet are on the brink of famine. Many countries are preparing for food shortages. As we just told you, India is hoarding its own supply, whatever reason they may have. China is also hoarding massive amounts of corn and other grains. From last month, quote, China made another large buy of U.S. corn to start the week, and market analysts say food security concerns are driving the country's increased appetite for commodities. USDA confirmed a flash sale on Monday that totaled over 1 million metric tons of corn by China. China buying up a lot of American grain. There are indications more than half the world's corn and grains are being hoarded by China, a nation that accounts for about 20% of the world's population, has about half the grains. The Chinese are smart. They're a lot smarter than we are. Here in the United States, as expected, your leaders are hoarding practically nothing. In fact, Tony Blinken said just yesterday, while admitting that we are on the brink of a food crisis, that, of course, as you would expect, America is happy to send another $215 million worth of your food to Ukraine.
We meet during what is the greatest global food security crisis of our time. Today, given the urgency of the crisis, we're announcing another $215 million in new emergency food assistance.
Didn't say anything about America. He just said, yeah, we are in a food crisis worldwide, and that's why we're sending more food away. How much is America hoarding in case of a food shortage here? Well, it appears none. This administration, of course, rarely concerns itself with the needs of its own people, right? I mean, that's not what they do. Such concern, the American government being concerned for Americans, would probably be labeled xenophobic by the furthest left reaches of that party. They showed you their lack of concern for you this week when we discovered huge stockpiles of American-made baby formula in Poland, and at our southern border, basically American-made baby formula is everywhere except for the store that you shop at. Don't you feel better? Aside from food, this country is also on the cusp of an energy crisis. It already costs a fortune to drive your car, to heat and cool your house. Imagine a situation just a few months from now where both of those expenses have doubled or maybe tripled. Think about that. It's becoming more likely every day. This week we learned that some gas stations are preparing for the possibility of $10 gas. For people driving SUVs and pickup trucks, you'd be talking about $250 for a tank of regular gas, maybe once a week. For the middle class, that's the kind of price hike that cancels the kids' college fund and ends going out to dinner altogether. Jennifer Granholm is arguably the most incompetent energy secretary this country has ever seen. She knows next to nothing about the industry she holds tremendous power over. Granholm's background is as the governor of Michigan, at which she did a terrible job, including wasting millions in Michigan taxpayer dollars on green energy programs that failed in spectacular fashion, the story we've told you about before. Today, Senator Josh Hawley eviscerated Jennifer Granholm as she effectively lied under oath, claiming that it's never been the administration's intention to sharply raise your energy prices in order to push more Americans toward solar, wind, and electric cars.
What are you doing about it?
With respect, sir, it is not administration policies that have affected supply and demand.
How can you say that when the price of gas was up over 30%? Here's what your president did when he first came to office. He immediately re-entered the Paris Climate Accord. He canceled the Keystone Pipeline. He halted leasing programs in Anwar. He issued a 60-day halt on all new oil and gas leases and drilling permits on federal lands and waters.
He went on and on and on with more examples for another 20 or 30 seconds. I didn't want to bore you. There's too many examples. Granholm's true intentions were revealed at another point during the same hearing.
We accelerate the move to clean energy because ultimately a move to clean energy is the homegrown, secure kind of energy that will make us independent.
Accelerate the move to green energy. You know how you accelerate that move? You make gas cost $10 a gallon. That'll move it real fast, really fast. Think about it. I mean, buy your Tesla stock. It's going to go through the roof. And then another spectacular moment during a Senate hearing regarding the Department of the Interior's budget. Democrat Joe Manchin finds a document that he alleges indicates that as gas prices skyrocket, the Biden White House is actually planning to issue no oil and gas leases in 2023. Think about what that means as you watch this moment.
You'll have a plan by June 30th, but you went further to say that doesn't mean that you're issuing any specific leases. If you have a plan, you should have. I mean, we've never done this. This is history. We've never done that before. Not issue leases.
Deb Haaland had no idea what to say. She just fumbled around. And she knows it's true. I'm sure they have no intention of doing that. They're done with oil and gas. They've made that very clear. They could not care less. They've made it very clear that what you need is not a priority. What their donors need is for all of you to buy an electric car, get solar panels for your house. That'll make their donors very happy, and then there's a lot more money pouring into the coffers of the Democrat Party, and then they all really win. Your tax dollars are being used to prop up half the world, but they're not being used to insulate you and this country against an energy crisis or the possibility of famine and food shortages. Of course they're not. Your ability to drive your car and heat your house, no longer a priority either. The White House loves to say that they're doing everything that they can, but actions speak louder than words. You see what they say, oh, we're working so hard on gas prices, look at what they're doing. They're not going to issue any new oil and gas leases in 2023, according to Joe Manchin, who, by the way, is a Democrat. This administration has illustrated quite clearly, you are not a priority at all.